favor. This is one more, please. And welcome to Otra Por Favor.
Otra, por favor.
Episodio número 22. Ya tiene más de 21, ya nos le llevamos a Las Vegas y
Ahora
a ver
sí,
qué hace para allá, ¿no?
Ahora sí ya puede tomar el podcast.
Sí, nos tomamos un break de unas 2 semanas para ver y es la primera vez que estamos en vivo con ustedes. ¿Qué onda, raza? ¿Cómo estás tú, chaparro?
Bien, Richie, ¿cómo te va?
Bien, acá.
¿Cómo estuvo el día de hoy?
Bien ocupado, estamos aquí acomodando todo y antes de nada quiero introducir a nuestro invitado de hoy. Nuestro propósito era traer gente y que nos digan su historia.
Uh-huh.
Y Edgar me mandó un mensaje y dijo, hey, ¿cuándo le entramos? ¿Cuándo puedo grabar? Y dije, pues cuando quieras. Y entonces ahí lo que hicimos fue coordinamos las fechas y coordinamos cuándo. Y
Ajá.
sí, se dio todo. Y ahorita con nosotros está Edgar. Edgar, bienvenido.
Gracias.
¿Cómo te va, Edgar? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien cansado.
Sí.
Bien cansado, pero contento de estar aquí. Muchas gracias por la invitación y por aceptarme aquí. Ojalá que les guste mi historia.
Sí, va a estar buena. Nos mandaste una historia y sí, está.
There's a lot of content right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's man. I was reading the story and it was one of those things that I can assimilate to it in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
So I'll probably talk about mine, but you already guess. So it's gonna be your story pretty
Your
much.
story,
Your episode. So before we get started, we just wanna say as members of the football or soccer community
Yeah.
in America, and as it's growing, especially in Austin, we want to say that we condone any act of violence. We went to the game in Houston this past week, and there was a lot of things that went wrong, and I wish it could have been different.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, I know soccer is a very passionate sport,
Yes.
and a lot of times we get heated, even when we play, a little pickup game. But the one thing that I would always condemn is the act of going to hit somebody. You can yell, you can scream, you can, celebrate a goal.
You can be mad.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but you cannot go and be violent against another person.
Right. And the whole thing, it's a lot of it is just, like we want kids and families to come. And like we have several kids that we show on the screens, and there was fights literally in front of those kids' faces. So we don't want that to ever happen. And anyone that's listening to this podcast, whether you're from Austin or you're from Houston, like I want you, just to understand that violence is not the issue, like the way to resolve things.
Yeah.
It should never be the way to resolve things. So.
No, yeah, I agree. I feel like soccer it's about playing together, being together as one, and when it comes to being violent towards other people that feel differently or are chanting for another team, I feel like that's there's no space for that in there,
Right.
and yeah, we definitely don't want none of that happening.
Right. And, I do want to give thanks to the organizers for La Murga and Los Verdes, that they try to do the best they can to contain situations. Some of the security in Houston wasn't doing it, but the people that are in there, they were able to de-escalate a lot of the things. But it could have been worse.
Yes.
It could always be worse, especially when you have hundreds of people, traveling. But switching subjects, Edgar, can you share a little bit of your background? Where are you originally from, and just let them know how has life treated you when you moved to Austin, and then from there we can jump into the conversation because man, you guys are gonna enjoy this one right here.
Yep. Listen up.
Yeah, so I'm from Mexicali, Baja California. That's where I was born. I lived there till I was 12 years old, and then my parents moved me to Los Angeles, California. got to a place where there wasn't a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Hispanics, I should say. Just
Latinos.
General Latinos. And my aunt lived about a block away from the school, and they put me in school there. And there was only about 10 Hispanics in that school, and everyone else was either white or black. And they put us, all 10 of us, in one room, and basically that was our classroom the whole day. We wouldn't come out for breakfast, lunch, or playtime, as they call it. That was our classroom. We play there, we learn there, and that was it. And I got really, really sick. I would go home. I had diarrhea. My stomach was upset, and I just couldn't do it. One, because I didn't know the language. I didn't know how to communicate with other kids. The kids would make fun of us, would throw stuff at us. There was a lot of bullying. And I convinced my parents to go back to Mexicali. And they did. My mom went back. My dad stood here in LA. Sorry, not here.
But over there in LA.
In LA.
I mean, kind of, a little bit.
It's turning into that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we went back to not. My mom in Mexicali, my mom was very creative since the beginning. I used to help her sell tacos at it was like a health center or something like that. And on the weekends, because I would go to school, and my dad was working near San Francisco area, Soledad, California. In the fields.
Okay.
And I mean, later my mom or my dad convinced my mom that he was gonna come to LA, and they convinced me to come back, and it was me, my brother, and my sister, and then we came back to LA, and that's where I grew up from 12 years old to about 3 years ago when I moved here to Austin. I mean, there was a lot of things happening in between, but I met my wife there in LA, and we were struggling, with money. Everything's so expensive over there.
Right.
We decided to make a move. One of the places was either Seattle, Oregon, or Austin, and we decided Austin. I mean, it just kept on coming up as the best city, young city, up and coming, and said, okay, well, let's try that and see what happens. We didn't have no plans of a business. We don't have no plans of work. I didn't have a job. She didn't have a job. We just we leased an apartment online, basically, and we just sold everything, TVs, beds, everything. We packed 2 little cars and drove over here with my 13-month-old baby. And that was 3 years ago, actually, on September 15. That's going to be 3 years.
El día del grito.
Yeah.
It was independence right there.
Yeah.
Literally, pretty much.
Yeah. So September 15, it's gonna be 3 years, and I've been here, and that's how I came to Austin. It was just the struggle in LA, in a different state that is very expensive. Beautiful weather, I love it, but I don't see myself coming back to it.
Did you live in did you visit Texas before you moved here, or?
Right. So my daughter is in the Air Force.
Okay.
And she had graduated here in Lackland, San Antonio. So I came to see her graduation, which I missed because there was a miscommunication on days. and I totally missed it.
Oh man!
But I hung out with her, the next day, and I'm she's listening to this. I'm so sorry, baby.
Was it like our last guest, Mike Chavala? He was like, "Oh man, I completely forgot. It was 7 Central, not Pacific."
Yeah.
Like, yes, all right, dude. But that's crazy. So when you were in California, from when you send us, your mom used to sell elotes, right?
Tamales.
Tamales, okay.
Yeah.
And then they would get, because I know in California, I don't know about now, but back in the days, you would get a ticket and then they would like take your food away.
Right. So, like I said earlier, my mom was very creative when it comes to surviving and making money and trying to make something. But when we were younger, we used to help my mom make tamales, and we used to go to Swamits, which is a flea market.
Right.
And we used to go there and park in the parking lot and open up a trunk and be like, tamales, you know.
Yeah.
And my mom's tamales, I don't know about your mom, but my mom's tamales are amazing.
They're the bomb.
That's when they run los trancazos.
Yeah, so they're amazing, and we actually, people used to look for us, man, just to buy us tamales, buy tamales from us, and until we got caught by the police. I don't even know if they were police. I think they were just security guards. But anyways, they maybe police. I don't know what they were, but they caught us. They used to get our stuff and throw it on the floor or throw it straight on the trash. And it was a lot of hard work that we put into those tamales.
Just
with
to
the
go in the
masa
trash
and everything, and the time, and then we were there and it was a family selling tamales. Come on.
Yeah. They're not selling drugs.
Tamales.
Right?
It was my. I understand health issues or whatever it is, but they were the freshest tamales.
Yes. It's probably better than what you have in fast food restaurants.
And you know what? You go to somebody's house and then they offer you something, you eat it.
That's exactly the same.
It's the same thing. It's like going to my house and I'm giving you a tamal.
Right.
You know?
It's weird because here in Austin, there's a lot of businesses, or I deliver Chinese food, and I see sometimes the signs outside of the house don't be soliciting unless you're selling tamales.
Yeah.
And here in Austin, everybody wants to buy a tamal, especially during the winter time. Well, the reason why, because whenever I lived in California, I lived in Anaheim for 3 years.
Oh, cool.
And then we had to sell tamales the first 2 years that we lived there. Oh, and it was tamales and elotes in a shopping cart, and then with the horn, and my dad would be like, tamales, elotes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was, back then, I was pretty ashamed of it, because I'm like, man, everybody in school would be like, ay, va el de los tamales,
Yeah.
And for me, it was just everybody's dad has a really regular job, and my dad is selling tamales.
It's a mental thing, and it like yourself, if you don't go far enough, then oh shit, that, I know that kid from my class, damn it. But we went a little far, and I really didn't care. Who would see me, and I was helping my parents, and but it was hard to see my parents go through that, but to us, it was my brother was playing around over there, my sister was playing with their dolls over here, whatever, and my parents were trying to make money for to bring
food to the table.
Not tamales to the table, but
food to the table.
Make a living, and that's how we survived, until my dad got a different job and started making money.
That's good. Yeah, it's it's one of those things that here now every winter my mom sells, so I take pre-orders, and then I go usually twice
really
a
good.
year, right?
Yeah, they're really good.
Actually from Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's, I go about a good 3 times to Houston or Galveston, and then go, place the pre-order, go pick it up, and then bring it over here and
get here to Austin.
And I come back with like
a lot of
like coolers full of tamales from people that want to order.
Okay, so let me take that back when I said my mom's tamales.
It's all good.
Let me know when I can put it in my order.
Yeah. All right, man. So yeah, man, it was funny because like whenever I saw the thing, like, oh man, but it's a like in a situation where you have to sell. It's especially the cops in California, like in Anaheim, like Disney was paying a good amount to the city to clean it up.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of that intel taking away, stuff that the illegal people had, like back in the days. It was my case, and it was like, it was stupid because they are all about inclusiveness and this and that. Right. But then there's this dark side of Disney that they wanted to clean up the crime,
right?
And they thought illegals were the crime. I'm like, no, dude, we're actually contributing. You put us to work in your park, it's gonna be clean every week.
Yep.
Like stuff like that.
Yeah. They don't see that, like if we go to a soccer game at the park, and see all these Hispanics, when they leave, they pick everything up. They don't leave trash.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying no, just Hispanics, but I'm saying anybody and everybody maybe has the respect to clean after themselves. But yeah, like you said, if they put Mexicans or Hispanics around Disneyland, they'll make a lot of money.
For sure.
Yeah. But so any besides the work that we're gonna get into on how you became a barber, any fun facts or any hobbies that you have?
Fun facts.
I don't say no, I don't have any.
I'm playing.
Fun facts. Let's see. I like to joke around, man. I like to laugh, and I laugh as whenever I can.
Yeah.
Joke. I just want to hear a joke, and sometimes I'm on my car and I put like the comedy channel, just to laugh, on jokes and stuff. But that's not a fun fact. That's just what I like to do.
I mean, that's a fun fact though.
It is because you like to listen to jokes and stuff like that.
Have you ever listened to the podcast from the comedians in Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah, which ones?
I mean, I look at all the Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the one guy from Culiacan or not Culiacan?
Franco Escamilla.
Yes, that dude. Oh my God, he's so funny, dude.
Los monólogos que trae ese cabrón es otro pedo.
Or La Cotorrisa. I would say the pandemic helped, the La Cotorrisa. I believe they helped a lot of people come out of like crazy stuff through the pandemic, because a lot of it was just like they were just like, man, we're in the same place, so here's all this black dark jokes that we're gonna say, so take it as you want.
I gotta watch it. I haven't watched a lot of those. I just watched the clips on Instagram. But they just have me laughing.
We're gonna send them the Cesarin one. You're gonna crack. After we're done here, we're gonna send you the link. You're gonna be cracking up. But
hobbies. I used to play soccer.
Yeah,
that was my hobby. I play soccer since I was in Mexicali, all the way up to before I came to Austin 3 years ago. The last tournament that I played for, it was an indoor tournament, and I played with my buddies from high school, and we actually won $1,000.
What? There you go.
So, but then after that, I just became old, and I just can't move anymore.
Hey man, you just do some yoga and you'll get it back. The body will adjust.
I agree. I believe it.
Yeah, we play.
We're still going hard. Well, I'm saying we're going hard, and I just got injured this past Friday.
We get injured every other week.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I've been putting a lot of pressure to my muscles, because I usually just play like 2-3 times per week. And lately, I've been doing like 5 or 6 days a week that I've been playing.
Playing
like
soccer?
Soccer, yeah.
Full games?
Not full games, but cascaritas.
Okay.
And then Fridays and Sundays, I have real games. Yeah. And I just this past, well, it was Thursday actually when it started. I felt like a little pinch on my leg, and I just stopped playing. I was like, oh, I can feel it, And then that was that. And then I went to play Friday, and boom, right there.
Worse.
Yeah, it got worse. And
I hate it when I get injured. Man.
That's the thing. Now you just have to wait and until you can play again, and it's just you don't come back the same too. You lose everything that you had.
Yeah.
And you have to rework to get it again.
And then they put someone else in. And
they
take your position. I was like, come on.
Yeah, man. It's like same here, dude. Like injuries too. I'm coming out of one that is like it started bothering this week, but I mean I'm good. But it's just like when you're after 35, your body doesn't. Yeah. Your body doesn't
act the same.
Doesn't act the same.
What positions do you guys play?
Man, you play.
I'm a midfield, but I can play forward and I can do some left mid too.
Okay.
But I'm center mid actually. Cool. That's my position.
Man, pretty much whatever they put me, dude. like literally, like goalie, and there's somebody who wants to play, I'm like, I'll play.
He has played goalie for us before.
Yeah.
You're a badass.
Nah.
I played goalie once in my life, and they scored like 3 goals in 10 seconds.
Oh wow!
It was my dad's team.
Oh man.
Sorry, Dad.
Nah, and I think a lot of it is just because I try to stay active, so I can hang, for an hour. But after an hour, like my legs won't give the same.
Okay.
For a good hour, I can still hold. But after that, it's like nah.
When I was the best shape after high school, the best shape I was in was when I was doing CrossFit, and I was doing a lot of what is it called? A lot of
cleans.
Legs. Yeah, a lot of legs. A lot of God, I just forgot the word. But anyways, I would do a lot of leg workout.
Yeah.
And I did, soccer. I did Spartan races,
Yeah.
I did trail running in the mountains of Malibu and other places. I did those, and I didn't get hurt. I was strong, and then when I would play soccer, I was really strong. I think I felt the strongest ever in my life. Even when I played soccer in high school. In high school, I was Ñengo, you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Flaco, Ñengo.
Scrawny,
yeah. I was super
Ñengo.
agregando vocabulario para el podcast.
Es lo que dice mi abuelita cuando estás bien ñengo, estás bien. Now we get along and we love each other.
Yeah, so in high school I was super skinny, and but after when I was doing that, I felt really, really strong. And when I got here, my wife used to be like, "Hey, why don't you go play soccer?" I'm like, I don't know nobody here, but sure, I'll find a league, whatever. I found a league online, and I was putting my name in. One of those things where you just put in your info so that they could call you. Any team could call you, right?
To play with them.
Yeah,
to
play
help
with them. And I was doing it, and I got to the last button to press to send it, and I turned around and I said, "Are you sure I could do this?" And she's like, "I don't know. Can you do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna press this."
You're like, no.
And I didn't do it. I didn't do it, but
man,
I mean, there's other thing. I mean, you don't have to really play in a competitive league. You can always go to a pickup soccer or
I wanted to do that, but I'm fine.
It's just and also time like with work and all that. I bet that
it's I'm back to being a barber. I work on my business for 5 days a week. Then can I tell my day? Just how
go ahead.
Go ahead. Tell us how the day goes.
So I wake up at 4:15 every day. I try to.
Dang. That's the time I'm going to sleep
I'm
sometimes.
Still sleeping, man, at that time.
I wake up 4:15. I get up. I get ready. Drink some water. I drink my pre-workout. I drink more water, and then I work as I wait half an hour for my pre-workout to start working, which is around 5:30, and then 5:30 start working out till 6:30. Sorry, I missed the times. I started working out at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And then I end up at 6 in the morning. And then my son wakes up. And then I have to take care of him because maybe my wife wants to sleep because she's been waking up with my son.
Yeah.
At night. Anyways, I help her queue him breakfast, get him ready for school, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I have to take him to school. Sometimes I don't, but then I go to work. I go in at 9. From 9 to 4 o'clock, I work. Most of the time I'm busy. Actually, all the time I'm busy. So I'm always like haircuts, beard trims, whatever it is. Till 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock hits. I have to clean up everything because I have to pick up my kids at 5 o'clock. I go pick them up, and then I have to rush home so we can have dinner. Then we have dinner. At that time, my son is kind of getting cranky. My 9-month-old baby is getting cranky, and then he goes to sleep at 7. Then I have to go put my 4-year-old to sleep at around 7:30. Start reading bookies, and then 8 o'clock hits. He's not asleep. 9 o'clock hits. Sometimes he's not asleep, and sometimes I get frustrated, so I get out and I tell my wife, "Can you help me?" And sometimes I just fall asleep, and he falls asleep with me, and then I wake up the next day at the same time.
Dang.
And then
repeat.
I do it all over again.
Repeat.
Yeah. So it's just nonstop. Nonstop, and that's why I'm tired.
Yeah.
That's why I'm tired. And sometimes I say, you know what, today I'm not gonna work out, and I fall asleep, and then at 5:30, 6 o'clock, my little one wakes up, and then I gotta wake up.
Yeah.
At that time, But it's my day. It's really long, really fast, and I have to be on it all the time, or else. If I don't leave my house at 8 o'clock, I'm late.
You won't make it to work.
Yeah. And so if I don't leave my work at 4:30, then I'm late to pick up my kids.
Yeah.
So it's always
timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super, super, super busy, and that's why I don't play soccer.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I wish I could, and one day I might just. For the heck of it on Sunday or Saturday, just because I really, really miss it.
Yeah.
I really miss soccer. Soccer was my life. We won the championship in high school, and that was my big thing, and I was going to go to college. I went to the, when they do the college, what is
Tryouts.
it called? Tryouts,
Yeah.
So I went to East LA College, and I tried out and I played with them and blah blah. And then my wife, my ex-wife, told me she was pregnant with my first child, and
That's it.
right from there on was like, okay, now you gotta provide.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta provide for your family. You gotta put food on the table, and you gotta go work. And I went to go do valet parking.
There you go. Yeah.
But it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and then man, work. I mean, you're the owner of a business now,
Yes.
and what's the name of the business?
It's called Olde Soul Barbershop.
Okay.
And we have 2 locations, one in the east side and one in South Lamar. We've been in business. East side location started back in June 2019, and the South Lamar location, I just opened it in February of this year. Brand new, yes. We have 4 people working at South Lamar and 4 people working at the east side location,
Including you.
including myself. And I jump around from shop to shop. I go from to the east side location 2 days, then I go to the South Lamar location 3 more days. That's my 5 days. We also hired a front desk person. We're looking for a second front desk person. So if anybody's looking for a job, hit me
Call
up.
him up. Yeah.
I know, right?
Call him up.
If you need a job,
Yeah.
ahí está.
Ahí
Front
está.
desk, yeah.
What how was whenever you first because you're a barber and the owner, right? So you have to manage and work
Yes, sir.
the seat. We had 2 guests.
Yeah, we did.
Cisco, who he owns his own barbershop
Yeah.
with us. He has a rental at at Salon Loft, and then Abel, he's the owner, but he's not a barber. But you're pretty much running the barber with people that work for you. How was the part of being a barber? How did it jump to your mind? When did you make that decision of, you know what, I want to go to barber school and I want to be able to do this?
Yeah, so I worked in the garment industry in Los Angeles, California for about 19 years. The garment industry is very cutthroat, and they don't eat you, they lay you off, right? So when I was working for this one of the companies, my mom was a hairstylist, and so go back to that. My mom was a hairstylist, and she had told me, like, hey, you know how to cut hair, blah, blah, blah. Because back in high school, I used to cut my own hair, and I used to cut my friend's hair and my brother's. But I didn't know how to cut the top of the hair. So I would always bother my mom for her to cut the top. But I always thought that it was never like a profitable business. It was just a hobby. And so, but I put myself through school because I decided that, hey, maybe I'll use it one day, and I'll, just to put it in the back burner and see if I ever use it. Until I got laid off again, the second time, and then I went to work for this other company that I really, really hated. And I said, you know what, I gotta put this to work. So I started at this barbershop where they gave me a couple of days to start, and then I went from there. I mean, the decision was because if I ever want to use it, that's it. And it was just what's it called? Like everybody wanted to be a barber at that time.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be a barber, so everybody wanted to go to school, blah, 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 but nobody was doing anything about it. And it was the cool thing to do. And so I found the school and told two of my friends, and then they went to the same school, and now all three of us are barbers, but they're barbers in California, and I'm a barber here. And the decision was because, hey, maybe one day I'll use it, but I never thought I would ever use it,
Yeah. Like starting your own business and all that.
Yeah, no, I never had to be like, oh yeah, one day I'm gonna open up my shop and I'm gonna do this. I'm like, no, it was just more like survival. This is what I'm gonna do. And then every time I would cut somebody's hair, they will give me $15, and I was like, okay, cool. Hey, in 2 hours I made
make some money.
$30, So, and at that barbershop that I started with, 3 of the barbers quit, so I was the only barber working. So basically I was cutting everybody, and at the end of the week I was getting $1,200 a week, So I was like, hey, I'm making good money.
Yeah, that's exactly what you were winning. Yeah.
Right. So but it took a while because I didn't know how to really cut hair. I feel like any barber that starts in this career, it takes them about 3 to 5 years to really know how to cut hair, to really know how to figure out different textures, different head shapes, different bone structures, different, everything. And everything is just experience, and it's just doing it over and over and over again.
Repetition. And that's the thing, it's crazy how you say that, because I mean, for me, it's like a haircut. It's a haircut, right? You really don't think about everything that you said right now, like the bone shape, the head, and all that. No, I go there and I get a haircut, and that's it, But there's a lot into it, Yeah. And just like any other job, I think like practice makes you good,
Yeah, practice makes perfect, like they say.
Yeah.
Right. So the more you do it, like me, I didn't know how to cut. African American hair, but I put myself in the position in a shop where there was a lot of African Americans. So the first day that I started at that shop, I told in my interview, I told the owner, hey, I just don't know how to cut black people's hair.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry about it. We'll teach you.
That's good.
And I said, are you sure? He's like, yes, don't worry. The first day I had 8 people. God.
Hey, that's how you te tiran para que nades, you know, to swim or you die.
Yeah,
exactly.
either you swim or you.
That's your test right there.
Yeah. So I did that, and but I started getting more comfortable. Yeah. I didn't fully learn at that shop. I actually learned here in Austin to cut black people's hair more than what I learned in LA. But that gave me the foundation, right, to kind of sort of know how to. When I got here, I learned from other people, watching other people, and my wife used to get mad at me because I will be on my phone all the time watching videos and like
I gotta learn.
Yeah, I gotta learn, you know. And she, otra vez en el teléfono. I was like, yeah, again in the phone, you know. But by the way, my wife doesn't speak Spanish, but
but that one she learned. But that one she knew what to say.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then managing the business is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because it pulls you in different directions, and you have different personalities. You have, basically you become an HR manager rather than a barber. Which I don't mind it because I did HR before. I don't mind it, but my love is barbering, right? My love is cutting hair. So sometimes I need to, like, I put people in my shops to like be in charge. And you know, you're in charge of this shop, you're in charge of that shop. So whoever's gonna has a problem or whatever, they're gonna come to you. They don't. They still come to me. They still come to me. But you know, it is what it is. I just I think I found myself. I guess getting used to the idea that this is my job, that I have to do the barbering and I have to do the other side of the business too. You know, and I have my wife. My wife helps me a lot.
That's good.
A lot. She's the better brain, basically. You know, she's the better brain, and she helps me a lot, and we both make decisions for the business, to better the business at all times.
That sounds good.
Yeah. I don't make a decision without calling her and asking her. If she doesn't answer, I don't make the decision.
That's good. That's good.
You know?
Yeah.
And
that's smart.
Yeah. and same way for her.
Yeah.
You know, so, but you know, the business, we always try to make it better. We always try to make it fun in some way. We try to take care of our own because we pay really good. We're a percentage shop. We're not a boot rental.
Yeah.
They're just two different types.
Yeah. Right.
But we pay really good. And I think people that we have now are happy with what they have. Some of them take it for granted, but hey, it's just people, you know, and that's the people take it however they want. And, you know, and hopefully one day they'll recognize that, hey, man, I have it good here.
Yeah. So when you moved to, sorry to interrupt, when you moved like to Austin, you moved like pretty much without nothing. So then you found a barbershop.
Yeah.
And you were telling us that you started pretty much building stuff. A lot of that stuff, you didn't even know like what to do. So you had to learn on the spot. Like when it comes, not the barbering part you got there, but the part of putting the business together.
Yeah. So I worked at this shop for a few months, and then I went on to open up my own. But when we opened, it was dark in there. We were actually basically cutting hair in a garage, basically, you know, without lights. Like, these lights are amazing.
Thank you, Hyperwear. If you're listening to boss, thank you.
Yeah, But my lights. Okay, so if you don't know anything about lights, there's 30. I had bulbs, light bulbs, right? There were 3,200 kelvins, right? I needed 5,000 kelvins.
Dang.
You know, so when I put 3,200 kelvins, like it was super dark. It's like that light right there, you know, and it was super dark, and we're like, how do I take this line out? How do I take this? I can still see that line, but how do I take it out? And lighting for us is very important. Super important, because that's what you see, you know, the fade, and you see a line, and we always look at the mirror and make sure that there's no lines, and the mirror never lies, right? So that's the thing about but anyways, but the lighting is very important. So when we started, it was very dark. The stations were like a board, a 10-inch by 10 feet board with pipes, you know, those metal pipes. Yeah, and then you could see the wires in the back. Oh my God, it was just so bad. Oh, anyways, when we started, Abel actually, friend of mine, he lent me one of the chairs.
Nice.
And his chair was it was a salon chair.
Yeah.
And we had like 250 plus people sitting there, and man. It was like it was like round.
They barely fit.
Like you know, getting a haircut, and it was the first day. Thank God. The next day we got our chairs, and
that's good.
You know, but it was really, really, really tough. And we started with two people, me and George, my barber. That it's in the East Side location, and then but we had a nice couch for people to sit. You know?
Were you getting the haircut? But the couch, that's where it's at.
The couch was the amazing part, and the beer that we had in the refrigerator.
There you go, free beer.
Yeah, free beer. Yeah. People used to come and drink a beer, sit there at the couch, and wait for us to cut their hair, and it was amazing. But it was really tough to start. It was nothing what it looks like now. And right now I'm thinking about moving it to a bigger place because we don't fit. So
that's good.
Yeah. So it's evolving.
Yeah, business are good. And it's crazy because you said you had to do, you did some HR work, you did some other type of works that in reality helped you become a business owner in a way. Simply because you learned the way HR was handling things and doing payroll and stuff like that. And you managed to learn that. And now that helped you when you created your own business.
Yeah. So being in the corporate world, you learn things, you learn structure, you know, and I try to have structure, but it always goes back to my wife. She's the one that this is what we're doing. Yeah. I was like, no, but we'll always go with what she says. Yeah. So, but she's also very smart. If I don't know anything, I go to her. You know, and she's always like has a way of explaining to me like what we need to do or how it's gonna work and how. And sometimes I don't believe it. Sometimes I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. Like, how are we gonna do that? No. But then she explains it to me, and I'm like,
that's gonna work.
Yeah. And it also goes back to like she always. She has that respect to ask me all the time. She just doesn't make decisions as well. Yeah. So she always has that respect to come back and say, honey, we're going to do this. We're going to do that, blah, blah, blah. What do you think? Do you approve it? It makes me feel so good. Yes, honey, I approve it. Yeah.
And you were talking earlier, you had to build your front desk stand out of pallets, right?
Man, I wish I had a picture of that thing. So I never built anything in my life. But you know, my dad was very crafty. My dad was like, he always looked for something. I mean, to the point where he was changing his own engines in his cars. But I decided to make my own front desk out of pallets. And so there I go. I went to go pick up pallets at different businesses, and people would just look at me like, what the hell is that guy doing? And I'm like with the hammer and a, thing right there, just trying to undo the pallets. And people would be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I need these pallets. They're for free, right? And it's like, yeah, they're free.
Yeah.
He's like, but why are you undoing them? I'm like, well, first of all, they don't fit in my little car right here. Second of all, I'm going to make a bar off of them. And they're like, a bar? It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, why don't you take a picture and bring it back, like trying to make fun of me. Yeah. But yeah, I made that pallet, and it looked really good, and it was super sturdy. And my wife makes fun of me because she said he wasn't, but he was.
Hey, you got it done, though.
Yeah, I got it done. And it was, the pallets. I mean, we still, so till this day, our front desk has pieces of that pallet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, because we kept it as memory. Like that's
pretty cool.
From our front desk. But, yeah, it was a tough monster, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's like we were talking about it earlier. A lot of the times, situations drive you to learn things. And like personally, a lot of this stuff, I mean, I didn't know how to do certain things. And my wife would be like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, you're going to have to give me at least 2 weeks to understand at first what I'm about to do. Yeah. And then over time, things get easier. But it's one of those things that, and I think like life in general, whenever, even in a job, like whenever you put yourself in a situation where, okay, there's this position, you want a promotion, you want something. And like you were saying earlier, when you're honest and tell people, hey, I don't know how to do this, but if you teach me, I'm going to learn. Yeah. A lot of the times we don't like to feel vulnerable on situations like that. And we miss out on opportunities, especially Latinos, for example,
we're the ones that don't read the instructions.
Right.
Well, it's that culture that we have, that we know how to do things, right?
But a lot of the times it's just like we're afraid of feeling like we have to ask for help, or we're like, no, like our pride kind of gets on the way. Even for myself at times. And it's a little bit where, you have to learn how to let go and just let go and let be.
Yeah, I'm hard-headed sometimes, and I'm the person that opens up that fan and there's instructions in there. Nope, I put it together, and I
didn't need them.
Yeah, I don't need the instructions. I'm just gonna put it on. But it's that Mexican pride of me. My background is that way. And I try to do everything on my own. Yeah. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Right. And if when it doesn't work, like it's fine. Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Yeah. It'll be okay. And we freak out. We're like, if something doesn't work, like, oh man, like no, there's always a solution. I mean, there's always something that like, especially as a business owner, you have to learn how to deal with problems, but a lot of times it takes a while to resolve.
Yeah. So when I started, the more I hire people, the more I started to be more lenient, more understanding. I was running my shop a certain way, and that's the way I wanted it to run, and at times I think, and I'm whoever's listening and worked for me before, I'm sorry if I was hard on you. But my shop is really small. Yeah. Really small, and it was an apartment. And basically I have a kitchen on the side, and I had guys leaving their Tupperwares in there. And why? Like, no, man, like people come in, this is the first impression, you know, when you come into a business, like, you know, you come in and you're like, oh, look at those guys are eating on top of that, you know, like, no, man, like be clean, you know, and that's another thing I have with my shops. Like barbers come in, I'm sorry, when barbers leave at the end of the day, they clean up their stations. They clean everything up. They don't leave anything on top of the station, because especially on the east side, there's people walking through the windows or by the windows, and they look inside, you know. And if they see a mess, who's gonna wanna go into a business if it's a mess? You know, I don't. I like it to be clean. People look in there like, oh shoot, like. This place is clean. I should get a haircut here. You know, it's sanitary, it's clean, it's you know, it looks cool, you know, so I'm gonna get a haircut here. You know, so that's how we attract also people. And then during the day when they come in to work, they could put anything they want on top of it, you know, except for stickers on my mirrors. So, but yeah, it's just a certain way, a certain look I like, and I wanted to keep it that way, you know. And it's not for me. It's not because por mis. You know, that's the way I want you to do it. No, it's for you, for the clients that are looking into our business, you know, and they have an expectation. They have, you know, they have a vision of where they come. They want to belong. You know, that's the type of business that I want. You know, and if one day we, you know, raise prices and we want to charge more money, well, then they're like, oh yeah, well, they deserve it. Clean. They always keep it clean. So, you
know. And that's like one of those things that when you walk into a barbershop, I'm all about experience, especially in the barbershop. When you walk in and you walk out, how's the process? Luckily, like I've found some, you know, like Cisco is my barber. Cisco, shout out.
Cool haircut.
Yeah, thank you. No, actually, this one I did on my own. But the one before, I follow his line. I've been getting, I got my clippers at home, and I just gotta have a haircut every week. Like he sees me, like I cannot go like it's weird because once I see because I have thin hair, so it feels like I'm balding. So if I keep it clean, then it's good. So that's just the thing that like I have to stay clean every week. Like and it also helps me relax too, you know. But for me, whenever I was looking for a barber, I've always wanted the experience. And I think as the barber industry started changing, I noticed that in I would say early 2010s, when barbers became more of not just a barber shop where you go and get a bald fade and stuff, but you walk in and it's actually kind of like a club, you know, and the pictures and then Instagram and social media helped out, so you can see a lot more of what people were doing. And for me, it was always like, man, I want to walk in this place that you just feel like you still feel like as a man, you want to feel like
you belong.
You belong there, and that's what I wanted to have. And luckily, you know, like the places I've gone, it's pretty good. And when you think about like that, what you're saying, you have to, like, when you let your employees or people that work for you, let them know like why you're doing things, then I feel like they'll appreciate it more. Right.
Yeah. You go to my shop and everybody's going to say hi to you. Everybody's like, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Hey, do you have an appointment? Everybody's going to say that to you. Yeah. Because that's the vibe, that's the attitude that we have inside the shop. And I went to a shop when I was younger. You know, I used to go to barbershops to get haircuts before I was a barber. So when I walk into this old school barbershops, they don't say nothing to you. Just sit there and like until one of the barbers says next, and we're like, I'm next, you know, and then you walk into the chair and get a haircut. But all that has changed, you know, all that is changed. Now I feel like men are, they want to be pampered. They want to be taken care of. They want to, you know, they want to feel not so much like a salon, but close to it.
Yeah.
You know, because hey, if my wife is going to a salon and spending $350 for
Easy, right?
4 hours,
Yeah.
like, you know, but you know, in our shops, you know, you get a hot towel, you get a massage, you know, and shoulders, slight massage. You know, it's not like a full body massage or anything like that. You know,
That was like a darn it.
Man.
no, so some people get some people are like, what, massage? No, you know, very macho. You know,
You feel weird about it.
Yeah.
But it's not like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's, we have like those Terragun thingies, you know, in like 30 seconds, boom, 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 boom. It feels good.
How much you pay for each? Those are expensive.
Yeah, so we found a deal on Amazon for
Okay.
about, well, the one I bought the first time was $60.
Okay.
I bought it for $100, and we don't have like super expensive ones.
Yeah.
And I told my guys like, hey, don't buy expensive ones, just buy a $30-$40 one.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon, and that'll do. And so, yeah, you get that experience, you know, you get that experience as in like you come into my shop, you belong. You come into my shop that somebody says hi to you. Somebody's going to ask you if you have an appointment. If you're not having an appointment, then are you walking in? And then we'll check for you, you know, when do we have spots available, which is sort of rare at the East Side location. South Lamar location is a little bit more open, because it's new. You know, I just opened it in February, so a lot of people are barely getting to know it, getting to know where it's at, getting to know that it's there, you know. But you know, the people that I have there, I hired them because, you know, for a reason, right? Because they were good. So I put my trust in them 110% with my business, and because I'm not there 100%, but I trust them with everything. I give them a key, you know, and here's your shop.
That's good.
You know,
Right.
Here's your shop, and take care of it like it's yours, you know. And that's it. You know, everything else, I just cross my fingers and hope.
Hopefully everything, you know, nothing breaks.
Okay, yeah.
How about like whenever you were talking about earlier, when you open up your second shop, can you share the part or the timing of how it was open?
Oh, so that shop, the second shop, we opened it in February, but before that, in November, my wife was pregnant, and we were expecting our second child, and I took a week, actually 2 weeks off, but the first week, my wife was like, hey, why don't we go and look around and see if we could find a spot to open? I was like, are you sure you're pregnant? Like, you know? And she's like, yeah, let's go. And I said, all right, cool. We talked to a realtor to give us a list of all the places that were open. And we went all the way to Cedar Park to look at a place, and we didn't like it because it was so far. Yeah. To us, was so far. Yeah. When I heard a guy from LA say it's too far. No.
But Cedar Park, it is far. It's kind of far.
Well,
Yeah, it is pretty
but it's only like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
with no traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was far for us. But yeah. And then we didn't like it. Then we came down through, you know, downtown, and we saw a couple places, and we didn't like them. And the last place was this place. This place I had looked at before I opened up the first one. But the places that I looked at, there was apparently, they told me that one car crashed into the window and crashed through the wall of another business. So basically, he took down two businesses. And
man, hopefully the business got insurance with the car, man.
And so,
But I hope nobody got injured.
Yeah, that's true.
and so when we were getting out, well, yeah, hopefully nobody got it.
No.
So we're pulling out. I saw a big sign, a green sign, and I said, "Oh shit, look at that! It's right there."
Yeah.
And so I turned around, and we looked at it, and my wife was barely walking, right, because she had a baby. She was gonna have it the week after, And so we called the office. The office was like, yeah, we could show it to you right now. You here? And it's like, yeah, we're in front of the place. Like, come and open it.
Like literally right now.
Yeah, open it, And like, oh, well, with COVID, you're going to have to come and get the key and go over there and open it yourself. Blah, blah. Hey, yeah, whatever. I'll go get it. So I went to go get it. I opened it, and it was like a 3-bedroom apartment, And I was like, damn, it's big.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But what am I gonna do with it? And so I went back to the leasing office and said, hey, so I want it. Take my deposit right now. I want it. But can I knock down that wall, and can I do this? Can I build another wall over here? Can I do this? Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Dang.
Cool.
That's good.
Here's my deposit. Take it right now.
Yeah.
And a week later, we went to the hospital, had my second kid, and had to come back for the keys because, they didn't have the keys ready. They didn't have the apartment ready. And then they called us. They took them a while. So they called us like a week before New Year's. And they're like, hey, can you come pick up the keys on December 31st? I'm like, December 31st? What are you talking about? And come back then the day before. All right, cool. So we went to go pick up the keys. And December 23rd. Sorry, yeah, December. Wait, that was Christmas. What am I talking about? New Year's. December 30th. And
close enough.
Yeah, close enough. And then we got the keys, and we had planned to open up a shop once every year, and we barely made it to that second year.
Open another one.
Yeah, but COVID kind of backed us up a little bit. COVID was tough, tough, and we had to shut down for 8 weeks. To us, was a long time. And I know other states were closed for longer.
Right.
So I could just imagine how bad it was for them. And we were basically lucky to be only closed for 8 weeks.
That's what Abel was saying. The part of being in a red state, like I don't want to get into politics right now, but that kind of helped on things getting open quicker than other states.
Yes. I mean, I come from a blue state, right?
Yeah.
And but to me, like you said, I don't want to get into politics, but what works, why change it?
Right.
To me,
right.
And as a business owner, I loved it that they were only closed for 8 weeks, and I had to go. I was able to go back and make money and pay for. I thought I was going to lose my job, my business, I only had a certain amount of money saved up, and I'm like, how am I going to pay for this? If they don't open up, how am I going to pay for this? Like, and people were calling me and telling me like, hey, come here at home. And I was like, no, I'll pay you good money. I'm like, no.
It's not worth it.
No, it's not worth that. I don't know how this is transferred. I don't know what's going on, how people get infected. I have kids. I have a pregnant woman. Yeah. And my kid was not a COVID baby. I just want to clarify that. He was planned.
A lot of my family was like, hey, man, so me and my wife, I was engaged like right when COVID, like a little bit after COVID. I was right before COVID, that's when I got engaged. And people were like, so, when is the baby? Like, man, kids are expensive, man. I got a lifestyle. I got plans.
Kids are expensive, man. Yeah.
What do you think, Chaparro?
Man, it's. I guess we interviewed the two barbers last time, and the same thing they said about COVID. How hard it was for them and to survive. Yeah. A lot of small business basically shut down because of COVID, and I'm glad you were able to like stay open, and here you are. You have another. Another location.
So, we have really good clients that we emailed. We did a whole campaign through COVID where we were selling gift cards. They would buy gift card gift cards and then use it later when we opened up.
That's good.
We made not a lot of money, but we made good money to kind of help us out. And I was giving 100% of the money to the barbers.
Man, that's good.
That's good.
And whenever whoever came to use their gift card, then they will pay me my percentage.
That's
but
good.
I had a lot of people that did not came and use their gift cards.
Wow.
So they kept 100%.
Yeah.
Man, I heard a couple of barbershops did the same thing, or even bars.
Yeah.
They were actually getting all the whatever revenue they were getting from selling to-go drinks was for their staff. And that, for me, is I believe in blessings, and I believe in karma, and I believe everything that you do right, it's always going to come back to you. And I can see how you're being blessed by blessing your people.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's good.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But I just do it,
Because it comes out of you.
because it comes out from my heart. I just because I want my business to be successful as much as I want my people to be successful.
Right.
I want them to be successful. That way they could provide for the families, so that we could, I don't know, take the families on vacations and stuff like that. That's just, it's a better way of living.
Yeah.
It's better for, I got guys making, $2,200-$2,300 a week. So
Skill there.
Yeah,
that's good.
If you know math.
Yeah. That's some
a
money.
good chunk.
That's some money.
It's a good chunk of money.
Yeah.
Right.
So going back to that, it is a blessing to have a business that's profitable, that in terms of like helping people, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted to open up a shop.
Right.
And I told my wife, I never want to take advantage of anyone,
Yeah.
because I was taken advantage of.
Exactly.
They were taking a lot of my money from my paycheck for the hard work that I was doing, and when I told my wife, I want to open up my own shop, but I do not ever want to take advantage of my people.
Right.
I want them to have a life. I want them to be that they belong.
Yeah.
I want them to feel that this is their place too, not just mine, or ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's now that's why I keep my people happy. And some of them are not happy, but it's just because, oh man, I don't want to get into this, but, but because it's a long story because of how people see the shops and how they think the shop should be working, which is not. It's for some reason we're successful, right?
Right.
For some reason we are busy because we do things right. And if it's working, once again, back to the state. What if it's working? Why break it?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the business it's moving, and COVID was tough, but we were able to save up a little bit of money.
You managed to survive.
To survive and to open up the second shop. I didn't pay myself for, it's funny because I didn't pay myself for a long time. I'm like, honey, my wife would be like, honey, we need money for the car. Oh shit, let me transfer the $500 for the car.
Yeah.
We need groceries. Okay, let me transfer our money for the groceries. What we needed, that's what we transfer over.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything else was for the shop, for the business, until we were able to grow that pot, right? And then that's what we used to open up the second shop. So
That's good.
That's good.
And how the community of barbers here in Austin, how's it been that for you? Like, do you network with people, or do you just keep to your own?
I keep to my own now. A lot of people know me because when I came to Austin, I created a group called Austin. what was it called? Austin Barber something. And so I got a lot of barbers to connect and to get together, and I did a meetup.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody was like, "Who's this? Like,
Yeah.
who's doing this?" But I wanted to just create community.
Yeah.
Create a community and create like a group of people that we could like hang out and stuff. And sure enough, a bunch of barber owners showed up, and a lot of barbers showed up. There was maybe about 25, 30 people that showed up.
Yeah, that's a lot.
To the first meeting and first and only meeting.
Yeah.
Because after that, I started posting stuff about the license, that they wanted to take it away from Texas, blah blah blah. They wanted, and then people started asking more questions, and it started becoming political. And I said, I'm concentrating too much on this,
on something that's
instead of opening my own business,
Yeah.
opening up my shop, and it's just taking a lot of time for me. So I decided to quit and not do it again. But a lot of people know me.
That's good.
So, like Cisco, Abel, and a lot of other barbers that are in the area in the city of Austin know me. And I'm cool with everyone. Even the people that no, I'm cool with everyone.
Yeah.
I don't like to there's no beef with anybody.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah. And I don't like violence. So,
Yeah.
Good.
like you guys were talking about the soccer stuff.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't exist. But yeah, community. It's good. It's small. It's really small. Everybody knows each other. The 19th we're gonna have it's called BarberCon.
Okay.
There's something that's coming to Austin for the first time. They do it in New York and LA, and they're doing it this year in Austin. And it's sold out.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of new people that I don't know. And excuse me.
You're going?
I am going. Yeah, I bought. I'm super into the educational part of it.
Yeah.
That I like to go to the classes.
Okay.
And I want my people. I didn't make them, but I told them that I will give them the $50 towards their ticket to buy the VIP ticket that comes with the classes, because I want them to grow.
Right.
I want
That's
them
good.
To, I told them, hey, if you guys buy the VIP ticket, I'll give you $50. And there was, I think, 6 of them that bought it.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's go, man. Let's go learn something. And maybe you won't learn anything, but if there'll be one little thing that you be like, oh, yeah, that makes it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to the shop and use it.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it, because sometimes conventions or Comic Cons or stuff like that, it's like it's not like you want to take all the information and just cram it into one single day and that's it. Like, no, it's whatever you learn, whatever it sticks to you, that's what you keep forever.
Yeah, in our business, the more you do it, the more you learn.
Yeah.
The more sticks to you, the more like, and the more you want to learn. If you're passionate about it, you spend hours and days on YouTube just watching videos. No matter if you watched it already, you watch it again.
Right.
But if you're passionate about it, if you're not passionate about it, you think you know everything. You think you're already on top of the line. That's when you lose.
Yeah.
That's when your career stops. Because, for example, me, I've been doing it for, let's say, 10 years, right? But I don't know everything.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I wish I could know how to braid hair.
Yeah.
I wish I knew how to dye hair. you know, and those are things that are coming up. Those are like you see now on Instagram, like all these pictures of people dyeing their hair and doing designs. I wish I knew how to do designs, you know, and I don't.
There's always something new.
There's always something new, something to learn. Now, if you don't want to learn it, then it's really up to you. Like me, I stick to, you know, barbering, traditional barbering. That's what I stick to. Sometimes I do a line here and there, you know, and like a little design and stuff.
Acá la línea,
Los verdes.
Yeah, so I do that, but other than that, more intricate stuff, like I just don't. No. I can't. I'll mess you up.
Let me ask you this: the name of the shop, how did it came out? Like you just Also, there's a guy on Instagram. His name is Olde Soul on Instagram, but he's a really cool. He draws really cool, and he does this like psychedelic like type of drawings, and I really liked him, but I also like the name. Yeah,
nice.
And I always told my wife that she was an Olde Soul. She's 12 years younger than me. And I always told her, like, man, you're like an Olde Soul, because when I met her, she was so concentrated in life, and so like, you know, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is, you know, blah blah. And I always tell her, like, man, you're an Olde Soul, you know, like, and our logo is an anchor, and I have an anchor tattoo. And then there's a rope that does like an S type if you look at it from the back, and that's basically like my wife's name is Alexandra, but we call her Sasha, and that's basically an S. So it's the anchor. This is me, and then the S is her. You know, so it's like it kind of came together.
Right.
And the Olde Soul is her. You know,
Nice.
That's good.
It's her being the Olde Soul.
Olde Soul. That's very cool.
And it
sticks.
Yeah, it sticks, and it's also like a lot of people like it because it's not like trends, blades, and all these other names that are up there.
Cuts
like,
with a Z.
Cuts with a Z, you know, and stuff like that. Like we're not that urban barbershop. We're like the traditional modern barbershop. Yeah, you know, because we try to do that, and there's barbers that come in and they do that, you know, the little, you know, what is it called, the enhancements and this.
Oh,
and that.
whenever they do edging,
and then they paint the hair and stuff like that. There's with the enhancements, but there's people and barbers that come and do that. I actually do it myself, only to certain people, not to everyone. Right. Oh, okay. Only if they ask for it, then I do it. I don't like to do it to everyone because that only stays there for like a day or two. Yeah. And then what happens after that? You know?
Yeah.
Someone, I was going to work one day and I got a haircut a long time ago, Cisco. Not last week. With you. not with you. And it was funny because, like, I'm getting older, so my line is, you know, going back
higher.
And so the guy was like, "Hey man, do you want me to do the line and, you know, do the edge and the spray?" And I'm like, dude, I sweat a lot, and I have an oily face, and I put moisturizer on my face sometimes. So all of this is gonna be shiny. So if you put that, it's gonna be dripping down. Like, have you seen the Rudy Giuliani? Kind of like that. Nah, man, let's do this. I'm like, all right, dude, that's fine. So not even 30 minutes afterwards, it was humid that day too. I started seeing like and I was like, nope, I'm gonna go wash it and let's go.
But see, the type of enhancements that I do, it's airbrushing, basically. So it doesn't come off. When they do something like that, it's more with like, what is it called? Like
a spray
fibers,
kind of thing,
the fibers, you know? What they do is they spray it, and then they put hairspray so it doesn't come off at that time. Yeah. But if you sweat, yes, of course, it's going to drip down. So, yeah.
It was funny because I'm like, I saw the drip coming here, and I'm like, people are going to think I'm doing Rogaine at 29, 30 years old. But nah, man, I just accept my thing. You know, like I see you got like gray hair. Like I want to be like that. Like as I get older, just embrace that. You know.
You know, I was looking at a picture. Me and my wife were looking at a picture, and before we came here, my beard was black, like completely, and then no white hair anywhere. And she's like, "Did you used to dye your hair?" I'm like, "No, it was just that was my color." But now that
it's the pressure of the business.
You know, it could be the business. It could be my wife.
The kids.
Sorry,
everything, right?
No pun intended, but you put yourself in a situation. Yeah, I have a couple of gray hairs, and I told my wife, like, it's not you. It's natural. It's natural. You're not stressing me out.
Yeah.
So
it makes me look wise.
You know?
There you go.
So, you know, before we wrap up, what are the things that you do to remain humble in a business as a business owner? And another question that I have is, what do you do to remain sane?
Oh man, to stay humble. I mean, my upbringing was from coming to the United States as an immigrant. As an immigrant that I am now, even though I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm still an immigrant,
right?
You know, and the way I grew up, the way my parents are, very humble. That's who I am. That's why I'm humble, because I never think that I'm like way up here on top of everyone else. No, I'm always like humble, and if you do something better than me, man, show me how to do that.
Yeah.
Let me see, because I want to know.
Right.
But it's never like, oh, look at that guy, what is he doing? It's never like that. So I'm always more like, hey, let's help each other out.
Yeah.
Because if we're a team, it makes us only stronger, to stay humble it's just that my parents really taught me how to be humble at all times. That's and good. Never think that I'm better than anybody else or anyone else, and I always carry that with me, and to stay sane, man, I work out. I try to work out as much as I can in the mornings. My wife sometimes gets mad at me because I don't help with the babies. But I'm over here lifting weights, and trying to. One, because my birthday last year, I saw myself on a picture, and I saw not a good-looking Edgar, and I said, shoot, man, I gotta do something about this. I want to work out. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I'm also 46 years old.
Yeah.
So my body hurts.
Yep.
But I started little by little. I started doing push-ups. I would do 10 push-ups,
Yeah.
And then the next day I would do another 10 push-ups until I was able to do 15 push-ups.
Yeah.
And then I would start adding more, and then during COVID, like I tried to get weights, but then they were all sold out everywhere.
Everybody was working out.
If I tell you the story, man, it was intense for us. Yeah.
Jeez. And it was just sold out. I couldn't get anything. So I went to Walmart, and I saw this little dumbbells that you could, put the weights on.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I bought that. And then I found 30-pound dumbbells at, what's that one place, like a sporting good?
Dick's?
No, the other one. The
Academy?
Big one. No, the other big one.
Those are the only
it's only two that I know.
Academy.
Is that, did you just said that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, hey, there's another one?
Yeah.
That I don't know about?
That one. So I found 30-pound dumbbells there, and then I took them home. And all this time, my wife was in Florida, and I was buying all these weights, and I bought a bench. And my wife spent 2 months in Florida, and I'm over here like, what do I do with myself, right? So the thing was like, man, I got to work out. And so I'm buying all these weights. And I bought a 40-pound dumbbells, and then I bought. What did I buy?
He's just buying weights.
Yeah, whatever I would see, and I'll buy it.
And then he's buying mirrors.
And then when my wife got home, she's like,
Oh, God.
damn.
Get trajo al gym.
Yeah, what did you do?
And then, what did I do? And you were like, I did this.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. And that's the first thing she said. I'm like,
Yeah.
honey, it's for me to work out, like, let me.
Yeah.
But then now she doesn't say nothing, but I work out, and I also cut hair.
That's good.
To stay sane.
Stay sane.
Because cutting hair I block everything out, except for my business. When I'm at the shop, I'm always like one eye here, one eye in the hair, and then my ear over here, and I'm always like listening and everything. If something's wrong, then I jump in and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. Kind of like me right now. Sorry to interrupt. I'm over here making sure this thing is still recording. This thing is still recording. Yeah. And I see the camera and I'm like,
we're almost done.
Right. No, it's funny because I'm like, as you're saying that, I'm like, I'm actually just doing the same thing as I'm trying to have a conversation.
Yeah. So, and that's my safe spot.
Yeah, that's good.
That's where I stay, and I cut hair, and then I blank everything out, and then when I leave, then I start thinking about everything else. But the 8 hours that I'm there, 9 hours that I'm cutting hair, it's just to cut hair, and I meet all kinds of people with different walks of life, different stories. I ask, people how their mothers are, how their kids are, how their sisters, boyfriends, whatever they are, whatever it is. Today, one of my clients texted me that, his grandmother passed away, like all of a sudden. And I was like, oh, sorry, man. And he's worried about missing his appointment tomorrow. It's like, dude, don't worry. Like,
don't worry about the appointment. Dude, it's your family.
It's your family. Like, that's more important. Haircuts are secondary. So that's why
barbers are like therapists. So.
Yeah, for me it is.
Try to be.
Yeah, I tell my wife, like, I can cut my own hair, and I could be okay with that. But like when I go with Cisco, it's just I need that Cisco time. And she's like, and at first she was like
jealous, eh?
What? But then she's a nail technician. She helps her mom, her aunt now.
She understands.
So she understands. So she has clients, and then she saw, like, I'm pretty good friends with Cisco, and then she's like, oh, okay, now I see why.
Right.
So
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's the camaraderie, right? Like the friendship that you build with that person since you've been cutting your hair with them for who knows how long.
Yeah, you make that relationship.
Yeah, you make that relationship, and that's what I tell my people. Like, hey, build relationship with the client.
Yeah, that's
because they're always going to be your client.
Yes,
and if you don't give a damn about anybody or the person that's sitting in your chair, then that means you don't care about your job.
Yeah,
and just build that relationship, and be honest. Be honest with them, build that relationship and stay true, to what you do. And that's pretty much it. That's what made us successful so far.
That's good, man. Well, I'm glad, you're doing it, and I'm glad you reached out to us, so we can have this conversation. It's pretty cool.
My story, no, I'm just kidding.
Your story.
My story, we didn't really say it, but anyways, I will put it on my Instagram now. I'm not gonna put that.
Nah, we can, man. We'll come back to that. Do another part in the future.
Yeah, my grew up really poor.
Yeah,
basically, and what I have, I appreciate, and I really, I'm thankful for what I have and what me and my wife have built so far in 3 years, which is a lot. Yeah. We built a lot. We think that we're helping people, and that's very satisfying for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the good part about it.
Yeah. We share some of that, but in the future we'll have a second part, and
definitely,
have more, have another person, or,
listeners, please vote for me to come back now. I'm just kidding.
Nah, you'll be back. But yeah, man.
For sure.
Anything else you want to add, Chaparro?
No, I just want to say muchas gracias, man, por haber venido acá y tomarte el tiempo de escribirnos y de querer venir a estar con nosotros aquí. Eres el primero que nos busca a nosotros, lo cual nos hace sentir muy bien, y pues te agradecemos por eso.
Sí, los busqué porque me gustó lo que están haciendo,
Gracias.
Y aparte de lo que están haciendo y cómo lo están haciendo y con quién lo están haciendo, ¿no? Porque son personas que empiezan desde abajo, que van trabajando y trabajan fuerte por algo que tienen o que buscan o que lo que van a hacer en un futuro.
Sí.
¿No? Y pienso que eso es lo que todos buscamos, ¿me entiendes? Es la vida, así es la vida, y la vida es trabajo. Mucha gente dice, tuviste suerte.
Sí.
No, la suerte no existe. La suerte
las ganas de echarle ganas.
Puro trabajar duro por echarle ganas.
¿Me entiendes? Entonces, a veces digo yo, sí fue suertudo, pero pues, aquí estoy. Sí. Pero no.
Pero te la hiciste tú.
Ajá, pero no vieron todo mi trabajo que hice antes.
Y como te dije fuera de cámaras ahora y fuera de grabar, que tenemos lastimosamente tenemos esa perspectiva siempre, ¿no? De ver a alguien que tiene ya mucho, o sea,
te crees mucho porque tienes eso, algo así.
Y eso es lo primero que vemos, no sabemos ni lo que te partiste, ni todo lo que tuviste que hacer para llegar a poder tener tu negocio, ¿me entiendes? Y lastimosamente así somos los humanos, pero no, qué bien que te esté viendo muy bien, y pues te deseo lo mejor con tu nueva locación. Te voy a ir a ver un día de estos para que me des un cortecito ahí, a ver.
Sí, porque te estaba viendo.
Ya vio el pelo, dijo, no, aquí. A lo mejor no voy a poder.
Es lo malo de los barberos, a cualquiera que ven, le ven el pelo.
Sí.
Dice,
tiene que arreglarse el mechón.
Ándale, ¿ves? Yo por eso cómelo. Ya cuando vean.
No, está bien el pelo.
No mientas tampoco.
Sí.
Pero sí, muchas gracias, Edgar.
No, gracias.
Sí, y a los que en el futuro quieran caerle y hacer una plática, aquí estamos para ustedes, para la raza.
Claro que sí. Y para que dónde te pueden seguir, para que te busquen tu locación y todo.
Claro
¿dónde
que
trabajas?
sí. Mira, nuestro Instagram es Olde Soul _Barbershop. Nuestra website es oldsoulbarbershop.com. Mi Instagram es E_Tonsor. Tonsor is Latin for barber.
Ok.
Okay.
El Tonsor, está bueno.
¿Qué pedo?
¿Era cholo antes o qué?
Y no se cree. Sí. Bueno, ahí me pueden encontrar también por el 1-800. No.
Todo ya de una vez.
1-800 el Tonsor. Sí.
No, pero ahí me pueden encontrar. Y si no, pues pueden pasar ahí por la Sexta, en la barbería, Olde Soul Barbershop, ahí en la Sexta, donde está el Ramen Tatsuya, ahí en la Sexta.
Hombre, estás en una buena locación.
Sí, ahí está el mero.
Man, you're in a good location.
Mero.
Yeah. Y Salamar, donde está across the street from Easy Tiger.
Oh, Easy Tiger. También, that's a good location too.
Man, you're like in the prime right there, man.
Yeah.
Cisco is my neighbor.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
Ahí está.
Porque está a un lado del In-N-Out, ¿no?
Sí, ándale. Ahí das con el In-N-Out te comen su
Sí, la otra
Monster
vez pasó
stuff.
por ahí. ¿Qué
Sí.
onda, güey?
That's good, man. Hey, shout out to Cisco, Abel,
A todos.
and all the barbers that you guys that he knows and I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Ahí, échenle, y gracias, raza, por seguirnos, por escucharnos. Ese es el primer video, ojalá y les guste. Pórtense bien y adiós.
Hasta la próxima. Chao.
Gracias.
Bye.